Hi guys, welcome back. And today we are going to be discussing about a new business model, a new company that has recently come for an IPO. Yeah, I understand that I've been on a very long break. You might have not seen videos for I think for almost 3 weeks right now. But it's been a series of events that happened. Like first, Rajoshi was sick. He had dengue. He was hospitalized, so somebody had to be there to take care of him. So the entire time was going back and forth to the hospital. The second was we went to Thailand because after every result season I like to decompress, so I usually take a break with no cell phones, no laptop, as much as I can. And the third was later, of course, I fell sick after I came back from Thailand. So it's been like a very long vacation, but I think we're back right now, and we're going to start the video series again. So today we're going to be starting with the recent IPO, a company that has come for IPO in the recent times, that is PN Gadgil Jewelers. And I think the subscription part of it is over, and it should be getting listed tomorrow or day after. So we will talk about that business. We will look at the business overview and what has been the performance like over the years. What is the guidance? What is the scope that lies ahead for the business? Okay, and I will share my screen and I will present the business with you. And all the data that I share on the screen and what I'm going to be telling is just a compilation of DRHP and various management interviews that happened over the before the IPOs, before it went live. So yeah, I'm just going to share my screen right now and we can go ahead and further discuss the business. Uh, okay, so I think my screen is visible. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about PN Gadgil and Sons. First, let us understand what the business model is like. What does this company do? Okay. So PN Gadgil and Sons, if you look at the name PN, it stands for Purushottam Narayan Gadgil. He's the man who founded the business, the entire PNGS brand. You can tell about it. And if you look at the brand, they're nothing but a jewelry company. Okay. Just like you have Kalyan, Senco, Titan in the listed space, they are similarly like that. They're an organized gold retailers or a jewelry retailer, you can tell, the business. And if you look at them, they have all kinds of jewelry, whether it is gold, silver, diamond, different types such as a chain, pendants, earrings, bracelet, bangles, etc. So that is what these people do. Now, if you look at this PNG Jewelers, they come or they hail from Maharashtra. They started from Maharashtra. And even right now, if you look, 100% of the sales comes from Maharashtra. So out of this, if you see, 60% of the sale is coming from Pune. Okay. And now, what is so different about PNG Jewelers, let's say, compared to the likes of Kalyan and Senco, right? Because if you look, Kalyan, Senco, Titan are also organized players. And if you look at Kalyan and Senco, they have a lot more presence because they have pan-India presence. Senco is also, which was primarily from east of India, from West Bengal, is also moving towards, having a pan-India presence. So what is so unique about PN Gadgil Jewelers, and, how does it differentiate, or what is the USP of it? If you look at PN Gadgil Jewelers, if you look at them, the one of the most important thing is they are a family oriented, organized jewelers, you can tell. Okay, now what I mean by family jeweler, that to organized family jeweler, now you would have seen, I think, I don't know if my generation has an experience, but I think if it were my parents generation or my grandparents generation, because see, jewelry is such a high ticket item, you do not have to really market it because it comes with a factor of trust, right? Because you're spending a lot on it. So you would always see, I think our parents and our grandparents, they would always go to like a particular jeweler because they trust that person, right? And he becomes your family jeweler. Koi bhi aapka rishta ho, I mean, relatives ho, you would refer them to that jeweler, or you would for any kind of occasions, you would go there and you would buy the jewelry, right? So this is what we call as family jeweler. And these people, the customers, if you look, they have that relationship with all these families for probably like 3 decades, 4 decades, like that. It's continued over the generations and generations. Like the same family, jiska dadi purchase karta tha, abhi uska a granddaughter or grandson is doing it. Okay, so that is one thing. But if you look at the entire family jeweler, I think everybody knows this also, especially if you're from the north of India. Uska ek hi store hota tha, right? Probably aapka local jeweler hota tha, right? And it becomes very hard for anybody, with the local jewelry, because with the entire change in regulations that has come. But these people are the only ones, if you look at it, in the organized space, agar aap dekhte ho, they are the organized family jeweler. Matlab, aapka decadal mein, like, you have a lot of, you have that rishta and everything, but also you're in a very organized space. You're not like a single store hai aapka, and unorganized way mein aap kuch kar rahe ho. Okay, so this is one of their USP, you can tell. The other thing, if you look at it, is because other USP you can tell with PNGJ is if you go to, if let's say if you have to buy jewelry, you'll always think in mind कि like अरे मुझे एक gold का bangle खरीदना है, मुझे एक bracelet खरीदना है, and you would go to let's say Kalyan or Senco, and you would look at the offerings that are there on the shelf and you would buy based on that. So most of the times when you go and buy jewelry from an organized player, you buy off the shelf, whatever is on the shelf, you do it most of the times, right? Like you would say majority of the times. But here with respect to P and GJ, you will see that they are mostly going into made to order. मतलब आप जाके उस ज्वेलर को बोलोगे मुझे ऐसा डिजाइन चाहिए, ऐसा डिजाइन चाहिए, और आपके हिसाब के तरीके से, so he would customize it according to you and your preference. Okay, and that is what is there, you know, even until now. If you see, 30% of the sale is done made to order. If you go back earlier, I think like I told you, if you go back to previous generation, they didn't have a lot of shelf offerings, right? You would go and, you know, you would give them the design and they would do according to that. But with the organized jewelers, what happened, they already have an offering and you go buy it from them. It's very rare to do a made to order design, but here it is ulta. And not just that 30%, like I told you, sale is coming from made to order, and this is one of their USP, but the fact that they have a very less delivery time compared to anybody else. Their delivery time, even for as big high ticket items such as a bangle, is 2 days. And let's say if you want to have like a very grand jewelry, you know, wo jo bada chain aata hai, that is around 10 days. So 2 to 10 days is something that their made to order delivery time is. And these 2 points, like I told you, one is the organized family jeweler, and the fact that second is the made to order jo hai, it's the highest, and also it takes less delivery time, are the 2 USPs that you have with respect to PNG Gadgil. Just a second. Yeah. Because sometimes it stops recording all of a sudden and you wouldn't even know. But anyways, yeah. And now if you look at their brands, if you look at their sub brands, जो उनका store के अंदर ही होता है, like when I talk about sub brands, you see, अगर आप कल्याण में भी जाते हो, you will see ना उनका हीरा collection, that collection होता है, which is nothing but उनका diamond range के लिए एक नाम होता है, bridal jewelry के लिए एक नाम होता है. Similarly, you will see उनका sub brands है, मतलब इसमें शायद, you know, gold jewelry होता है, कुछ इसमें कुछ सिर्फ rings बेचता हो, and you can see all these different brands that they have. And उसका प्राइस रेंज भी आपको यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा. I wouldn't go in detail onto this. You can just take a pause the screen and look and read about this because it's quite self-explanatory. I think somebody else I think it's Malabar Gold and Diamond, I'm not sure. They have this sub brand called Muhurtam, which is for this very heavy chains and jewelers, you know, this artistic or antique jewelries that you call it, you know, which you wear on your weddings. And I think that is one of their sub brand called Muhurtam. So similarly over here, these people have different sub brands for different categories. मतलब gold jewelry के लिए एक, wedding jewelry के लिए एक, diamond jewelry, platinum jewelry के लिए एक, ठीक है? So this is a different sub brand. Now, one thing like I told you, even right now, as I mentioned earlier, 100% of the sales come from Maharashtra. Now, if you look at the entire India ka landscape, if you look at the map, you will see that, you know, we are divided into 4, whether it is north of India, south and east and west of India. And in east of India, if you compare, 46% of the gold sale is coming from Maharashtra. So Maharashtra is a huge capital, or, you know, huge place for the sale coming from east of India. I think similarly, when you go to south of India में Kerala से आते, I think around 52 or 80% comes from south of India. In Kerala, in the south of India market, Kerala, because Kerala may, I think if you go, it's very important, you know, it's like a matter of prestige, it's a part of their culture to wear a lot of gold jewelry. If you go to the east of India, West Bengal contributes to 86% of the sale in for gold. So similarly over here in the east, if you see, Maharashtra is there and it accounts for 46%, and it is a good thing, right? Because these people, it just shows they have a very larger market, although they're operating in Maharashtra. Okay. And similarly, if you see throughout India, you will see that 25% of the gold jewelry or the 25% of the you know, most of the stores and the market share that is there is coming from Maharashtra. And you can see over here, and that is what I was trying to explain over here. Okay. Now, if you look at Maharashtra also, who among the listed players, you can see here who has what kind of prominence. Okay. Now, if you look, we have 3 listed players over here: Kalyan, Senco, and Titan. You will see all of them have, you know, hardly few stores, right? Like 4% unka stores hai compared to Pan India versus Maharashtra. Similarly, Kalyan has 9% and Titan, and you will see Gadgil has a big hold. They are the largest, I think, organized jeweler in Maharashtra compared to, and I think if you're from Maharashtra, I believe you people are very, you know this brand really well. And I think I think that's what Marathis prefer. You know, there is a trust with this brand because it's been there, I think, for a very long period of time. I think since 1800s, right? So that's with PN Gadgil and Jewelers. You can see their prominence is more towards Maharashtra. This last 9% is coming from Goa. They have little bit coming from Goa, but majority comes from Maharashtra itself. Now, Talking about seasonality with respect to the business, not just with respect to the business, but if you look at the entire jewelry space, if you look at the entire, this jewelry market, you will see that Q3 is the best season because Q3 mein aapka Dasara, or Dhanteras, you call it, and it is also the highest number of weddings we see in the winter season. So you will see that October, November, December, which are the months of Q3, you have the highest sale or the most number of sale happens throughout the year in Q3 quarter. And the other one is in Q1 quarter because usually Akshaya Tritiya falls in Q1, and even in Jan and Feb because it is a bit of a colder month. You have a bit more weddings. So Q3 followed by Q1 are the best seasons. Of course, Q2 due to monsoon season, and in monsoon season we usually have Ashada. I do not know what you call it in Hindi. I think it's called Ashada in Kannada because in Ashada it's considered as inauspicious period and you do not have any weddings or any festivities. And yeah, that's that. And Q4 also very less wedding because of summer and everything. So you will see not just for whether it is PNGJ, whether it is irrespective of any companies in the jewelry space, and even for a B2C, whether it is apparel or footwear, you will see this is a very common theme that Q3 is their very strongest season, followed by Q1 and Q2 and Q4. Q2 is the weakest, you can tell, compared to anybody else. Sorry, not Q1, sorry, Q4, Jan, Feb, and March are Q4 months. I did a mistake over there. So this is one thing to note down. If you're ever comparing the result on a QOQ basis, make sure not to compare Q2's results with Q1 or Q3's results with Q2. Okay, so this is regarding the seasonality aspect. Now let us just talk about the entire jewelry space. Like why is this entire jewelry space, like seeing such a boom? Like why what is the reason for it is because one, we have the hallmarking that has come, right? Because you need to have that 916 BIS hallmarks, which really helps the consumer to protect their interests and they're not cheated. And that has really eliminated a lot of these unregulated and unorganized players that is there. Then we have the PAN card. If you are purchasing about 2 lakhs, your PAN card is linked to that purchase. Then you have the, of course, the GST demonetization that happened. Because of demonetization, because in gold, you see a lot of cash transaction used to happen, and the unorganized players got really affected from this. So all of these segments that I'm talking about, different parameters that I'm talking about, really shifted the entire force from unorganized space to organized space, and organized space is gaining more momentum. Okay, not just that, in the recent budget that we saw, I think 2 months ago, we saw that the import duty, there was a reduction from 15% to 6%, which also really helped. It's really helping the the domestic demand of gold jewelry. Okay, and if you look at oh, sorry. And if you look at in the retail space also, the organized retail space also, why it is booming, not just because of the regulation, but you will see there are many reasons. Is because one, I think if you go to Titan, Kalyan, or Senco, you will see that they have this monthly investment plans, right? Like you pay 5,000 every month, and after 12 months you can use that money and buy a gold, which makes it easier for somebody who wants to buy a gold and is not willing to pay a huge sum at once. Or the fact that you can customize it according to your needs. And the third one is, of course, there is online platform with all these retail jewelers, whether it is Titan, Kalyan, Senco, or even PNGJ, which makes it or provides them with this multi-platform, to go and shop for. So all of these things, the regulatory or these 3 points that I've told you about, the trends that I've told you about, is really, really helping provide that demand situation, which is increasing the demand in the consumption space, especially in the jewelry market space, and also in just helping the organized space grow. And actually, if you look at the data, I think if you look at the last 10 years data from 2014 to 2024, and if you look at the various discretionary items that is there, whether it is a food, clothes, apparel, footwear, and jewelry, you will see that the jewelry space is one that has moved really fast. I think it has moved from, I think the spending over here has literally doubled I think more than doubled in the last 2 to 3 years, in the last decade, sorry, is because, the fact that jewelry as itself doesn't need marketing, that because it is a high-end product, it is a luxury product. You do not have to appease a lifestyle to it, right? So that is one of the reasons. So this is regarding the demand, or you can talk about the tailwinds that is supporting the space or supporting the entire sector. Okay, now let us talk about PNGS in detail as to like why this is a very interesting prospect. I generally find it's very hard these days, I think, also to find a jewelry company or any B2C company at a very decent valuation, to be very honest, right? And I think this company is one such company that really hits all the spot. and we discussed now as to like why PNGS is so. In fact, I think this is why I never apply for IPOs, to be quite honest, and I really wanted to do for this, but unfortunately I didn't get any a lot. But if you're lucky, I think if you got one, you're very lucky. Anyways, let's just talk about the FSA, the financial statement, how it's been. First of all, right off the bat, the most important parameter for any business that you have to see is the revenue growth, right? Revenue growth is the ultimate thing. If you do not have sales, you're just gone for a toss. And this is one such company, I think, over the recent time, which has a high double engine kind of growth. So if you look at the revenue, I'm talking about this entire parameter is FY24 ka parameters, that is for the entire financial year. It is compared with FY23. So FY23 versus FY24, if you look, the sales growth has been stellar at 33%. You will see the PAT growth, that is it. PAT has grown by 65%. You will see, like I've given you, these are the numbers, 6,110 crore and 150 crore. It's a respective FY24 sales number as well as a PAT number. Now, if you look at the PAT margin and EBITDA margin also, it is in line, I would say, compared to your likes of Kalyan and Senco. Because PAT margin for PNGJ, as you can see on the screen, is 2.53. I think for Kalyan, it is around 3.5 or 3.4. And similarly with Senco also, it is about 3%. The fact that these people have a pan-India presence, a higher number of stores, and these people are also in the same league, just shows you that this company is doing something right. Similarly, in terms of EBITDA margin also, EBITDA margin is 4.54. I think Kalyan is around 7% EBITDA margin. Not quite sure with the numbers over here. Okay. Even if you look at ROE and ROC, it's also great, very fab, very clean and pristine balance sheet. Because if you look at any ratio, whether it is current as you look for quick ratio, anything, it is absolutely clean, no problem at all, right? So if you look over the years, they have really had a very high, staggering rate of growth. If you talk about it, even the sales, they've maintained a good amount of operating leverage. And I think this is just a brand of PNGS, because even if you look at Gargi, right, you will see that even Gargi, which also comes from the same family tree, if you see, you will see Gargi also over the years, they've really maintained the high level of growth. And not just that growth, but they've also maintained their profitability also, because this company is one such. I think the entire company that comes from the PNG family tree is that kind of a company where they've not compromised on profitability for growth. They're not that engines that really run, they will sacrifice profits and just focus on growth. They're not that one kind. And they're also, I think they've maintained a very high level, pristine level of corporate governance, right? Because they have a lot of trust in terms of not just with their consumers, but also in terms of their investors also. So overall, you will see over the years, they've had a very pristine balance sheet, very pristine growth rate numbers. Now, what matters over here is, I understand you guys have done really well until FY24, but what matters for investors is, can you provide what you'll do further? Because market is a forward-looking engine, right? And this is where it makes it interesting over here. I will come to the store part later. But anyways, this is where it makes it quite interesting, because if you look right now they are at 6,110 crore to 6,100 crore, and they're planning to go from 6,100 crore to the next 2 years, that is by FY27, to 10,000 crore. So that is roughly a 29% ka CAGR you can expect for the next 2 years. In terms of profitability also, like I told you, I don't think we are going to see any miss in operating leverage over here, because one, like I told you, this is not the kind of company the promoters or the brand itself, for the fact, the testament. Yeah, the brand itself, the testament you've seen is that they've always maintained their profitability, right? So I think you will be able to see some kind of operating leverage over here. The other thing I want to talk about here is, if you see earlier until now in FY24, the studded ratio used to be 10%. Going forward in the next 2 years, they plan to take the studded ratio from 10 to 15%. Now, of course, studded is a higher margin portfolio, na, because आप उसको stone लगाते हो, making charges ज़्यादा होता है उसमें. So of course, if you're moving into a high-end, high-margin product, it will reflect in the bottom line. So that is also one of the reasons I believe this company will have operating leverage. Now, the last and the most important part, now how will the sales be achieved? Because you will see, one, you can achieve it by the same store sales growth, but you also need, for the upcoming sale to come, you will have to do some kind of expansion. And even here you will see they're doing a very, very stellar amount of capex. Okay, so as of right now, I think as of Q1 of FY25, as much as I remember, Q1 of FY25, yes, they have 39 stores. Yeah, Q1, one second, I don't think it's Q1. Yeah, as of Q1 of FY25, they have 30, sorry, not Q1, as of FY24, they have 38 stores. Okay, and this 38 stores, as you can see, there are 21 in Maharashtra, they have 1 retail store in US, and they have other rest in Goa. Okay, Yeah, they have rest in Goa, and they do a combination of both COCO as well as FOCO model. COCO matlab company owned and company operated. FOCO matlab आपका franchise takes care of the entire आपका building and all, but operations जो है उनका inventory संभालना, employees को train करना, that will be handled by the company itself, FOCO model. So out of this 38 you will see 28, 39, 28 है उनका जो है अपना अपना खुद का store है, COCO है, and 11 is the franchise mode. And similarly when you talk about store also, they have different kind, large format, medium format, and small format, depending upon the size of the store. So here I've written the size and how many stores in that format. So large format store, there are 22 stores, which is of 2,500 square feet. So that is what they tell. So going forward, they want to take this number from 39 to around 57 stores by FY27. So if you take the store expansion CAGR, I'm not even talking about the same store sales growth. If you go from 39 to around 57, that is also roughly around 25%, 25% CAGR you can expect in the next 2 years with the store expansion rate. Okay, so how they were going to open 12 stores this year and 9 stores in the coming in the next to next year. That is in FY25, it's going to be 12 stores, and in the next year it is going to be 9 stores. So like I told you, if you look, this really hits a sweet spot for everything, right? One, in terms of revenue growth, they have a very, very stunning guidance, and in terms of guidance, you will see that they are almost targeting a CAGR of 29%, and literally, like you can tell, 40% kind of growth, right? Like from 6,000 to 10,000 crore. There is going to be profitability over here because they're shifting from the started portfolio from 10% to 15%. The store is also going to increase, right? We're going to see a huge amount of store expansion, which is going from 39 to 57, right? So all in all, really, really good. Everything that you want a company to be doing: higher growth, higher expansion, more number of expansion, everything that it is being done. Now let's just compare it with, so overall, that is why I think this is a very interesting prospect. Okay, now just last thing I will touch upon is, okay, I'll touch upon the valuation on the later part, but let's now, so that is why I think this is like a very, very stunning company. And I think I do not doubt the part of execution, because we have seen Gargi doing this, so hopefully even this does it. Okay, now let's talk about the P2P. We will check in terms of like the listed space that is there. Okay, Titan, I know a lot of you people will be like, Skygold ko kyun nahi dala, RBC ko kyun nahi dala? Skygold is a B2B company. You can't compare it with a B2C company. RBC is a mix of both B2C and B2B. Again, can't be compared over here. So that is why I've taken only those companies that are purely B2C, and not just B2C, but they're actually selling gold jewelry, diamond jewelry or silver jewelry, which, like example, Gargi, if you see, that sells artificial jewelry more, right? So that is why. Okay. Anyways, if you look at this, you will see the growth rate that is there. That is FY23 versus FY24. And if you see here, they are in line with the all the listed players that is there. Okay. Where if you see the listed, the highest growing person in this space is Kalyan, that is 32% almost. And you will see that PNGJ has a far higher growth rate than Kalyan. Of course, you can tell another reason for it could be the size or the scale of the business that comes, because Kalyan right now is a mammoth, or not a mammoth, of course, but it is huge compared to PNGJ. Even in terms of operating leverage, you'll see it really hits the spot over here by having the highest amount of operating leverage compared to anybody else in the space. So higher growth rate is there in the space, not just a higher growth rate, but also a higher PAT growth compared to anybody. Even in terms of valuation, you will see it is quite cheaper compared to other people also, other listed players also. Again, the only thing with PNGJ, why I have not written the valuation over here is, I really do not know at what market cap it is going to be listed, because I have estimated, I think, the market cap for PNGJ to be around 6,000 to 6,500 crores. So if you divide that by 154 crores, I think 6,000 divided by, I think it's 38 as per my calculation. Let's just see. 6,000 divided by 154. 154 is a pura FY24 ka PAT is around 38.9. If it's I think 10,000, I think if it is 7, let's take 8,000 divided by 154. 51. Yeah. So you will see here. Yeah. You will see here. It still falls. It has a higher growth rate than all of its peers in the listed space. And it also has the lowest valuation also. So here, if they continue to grow, according to the plan, according to the guidance, you can see literally a P rating happen over here. And if you know, you understand that P rating hoya to stock to double hoga. So this is one thing. Hopefully, the only thing I'm concerned about is hopefully the valuation that it gets listed at is much better, because I do not know at what market cap it is getting listed at. So overall, if you see, looking at this, you understand, right? One thing from doing the P2P, you see that it has the highest amount of sales growth in the entire space and the lowest of the valuation, right? Next, if you look at the store count over here, so this is the stores of all the companies as of Q1 FY25, and the store opening here, what they plan to do in this entire year, how many stores these companies are going to add. Okay, now if you look at Titan has 475 stores of Tanishq, but if you include everything, that is Mia, Candor, and another brand they have, Zoya, it goes up to 973 stores as of Q1 FY25. And I believe you need to include all the other three sub brands of Titan, because when you look at Titan, you're not just taking Tanishq numbers into account, right? You're taking all the revenue generated by all the four sub brands that they have into consideration. So I think you should, although Mia, Zoya, and everything, they sell this light jewelry, you should take it into consideration, I believe, in P2P. But that is why I've done both. So they have 973 stores as of Q1 of FY25, and they plan to open 180 stores in this year. Okay. And if you look at over here, you can see this is, I think they plan to open 40 Tanishq stores, 40 to 50 Tanishq stores, and around 70 of Mia, and 70 of, what is that other brand? Not Candor, sorry. CaratLane. So that is what they plan to open. So in this base, you can see, I think if you take 180 stores, how long? 973 and divided by 180. Oh, 1 second. 973 divided by 180. Yeah, it will take literally around 5.4 years for them to double the store count. So that will give you, I think, roughly 15 to 18% ka CAGR, I believe. Now, if you look at Kalyan has 217 stores, and they plan to open 130 stores, 80 Kalyan stores, 50 Candor showrooms, and 6 showrooms in overseas, in Middle Eastern countries. So now here, if you see, they have the highest amount of store opening. Literally, they are planning to, 217. It is literally half, like 50% more than of this rate. So literally planning to double in the next span of 2 to 3 years, they can double. If you look at Senco has 165 stores, and they're planning to open 20 stores. Thangamai has 59 stores. I think they plan to double the store count in 3 years. I think they want to open 12 stores a year. Okay. PNGJ, can you see here? Very, very interesting prospect again. They have 39 stores, and they want to take it up to 12 stores. So you can roughly expect a store expansion over here in 2 to 2.5 years. So here you will see that 39 stores there, 12 stores in next year, and in FY25, sorry, this year, and in FY26 they will open 9 stores. So that is literally 39 plus 12 is how much? 49, 50, 51, 51 plus another 9 stores, 60 stores. 60 stores, 57 to 60 stores up Lelo, which they will open in FY20, in FY26. So here also, like I told you, if you take the store expansion CAGR, it comes up to 25%. When even the revenue growth rate, when you did, it really matches up to here, because this you can see 10,000 crores in revenue, right? We were talking about, which is roughly 29% CAGR. So you can understand the plan, the guidance that they've given, it really matches, because the store count is also matching up to it. So it's not like they are bluffing. So you can see that. So here also you will see the store expansion rate ka CAGR agar aap dekhte ho, it is also in line with most of their listed players that is there, whether it is Kalyan, whether it is Senco, right? Because Kalyan is the leading player over here, which has the highest growth rate, which is opening the most number of stores. And I think unka bhi store ka expansion ka rate is coming up to the same rate as compared to PNGJ. So overall, this is why I think over here, it is going to give a really good, if they continue to grow at this rate, and if they continue to maintain this high pace of growth and continue to deliver on the guidance, it can give a very, very good competition, very, very good tucker to Kalyan Jewellers over here, because Kalyan over here is the highest growing in this space, followed by Senco, followed by Thangamai and Titan. Okay. Now, that's that about this company. I'll just highlight the last 2 points over here is the risk, okay? The risk here is one, let's say the gold price ka fluctuations keep happening. And if you're not good with managing your inventory, if you do not hedge your inventory, you're going to have those losses, inventory losses, and that remains one of the major risks. And it is not just for PNGJ, but it is for everybody in the space. But we have seen over the years, Kalyan has handled it well, Titan has handled it well. Senco, we will see how it does in Q2 because of this reduction in import duty, how it happens, how it will affect them. That is one thing. Okay. Concentration risk, because like I told you, the entire revenue, 100, like most of the revenue, at least majority, I think 91% is coming from Maharashtra, very hardly coming from Goa. Now, if there is any problem that happens in Maharashtra, any major natural calamities, other than that, something that happens because of this, because they're very concentrated in Maharashtra, it can pose as a threat. Okay. Now, you might ask me, like, do they have any plans going outside of Maharashtra? So, for the next 2 years, like I told you, right, they want to open these 12 stores this year and 9 stores in the coming year. This will be opened purely in Maharashtra alone. And going forward, after 2 years, they would want to go and, to go into the central part and the northern part of India, or the Hindi heartbelt of India, as we call as UP, MP, Bihar, and Jharkhand, right? So that's that about 1 second. Yeah, so that's that about PNG, sorry, PN Gadgil Jewelers. So as I told you, right, very interesting prospect. You saw that very tagda ka sales growth there, and they're also giving a very, very strong guidance of literally giving a from going from 6,000 crore to 10,000 crores in terms of sales. You will get to see a profitability over here, because the studded portion that is there is increasing from 10 to 15%. And if you go from a 10 to 15% ka studded portion, of course, आपका margins बढ़ेगा. अगर आपका margins बढ़ेगा, it will get reflected in bottom line. Store expansion is also in line with the revenue guidance that we saw, because revenue guidance ka CAGR is 29%, and store expansion ka CAGR also, if you take, comes up to 25%. And the most important part is we see the demand. We've seen an immense demand, immense kind of tailwind in this entire space supporting it. So do not see why. Hopefully it gets listed at a, the subscription goes through and gets listed also at a decent valuation going forward. When I tell decent valuation is, I hope it's not oversubscribed. And of course, hopefully we all get to buy it. Hopefully it continues to deliver really well in the coming quarters, because right now it much matters right now with the execution phase in Q2, Q3, followed by Q4, right? So that's that for PNGJ. I'm very excited for this business to see how it does, because I think it does add a lot more competition to the entire jewelry space, because earlier, if you see, there was kind of a duopoly between Titan and Kalyan, and then came Senco, which added a bit of a competition because they were moving from West Bengal to the other parts of India, right? So it used to be always within these three players, and now we have PNGJ, which will add on to more, I think, competition, and we'll see how, who will strive for the number one B2C retail jeweler in the entire space. So that's that for PNGJ. I will see you again tomorrow with another video. And until then, yeah, tata, bye bye.